Hi there! Welcome to Adopt Desktop Class Editing Interactions. I'm Andy, a UIKit Frameworks engineer, and I will be joined later by my colleague James. The iPad is continuously evolving, without compromising the interactions that make it simple and easy to use. In this video, you'll learn about the exciting new editing interactions that will transform your app to become more desktop class. First, I'll go over the new edit menus, which received a major facelift in iOS 16. Later, James will dive into the new System Find and Replace experience. In iOS 16, the edit menu features an all-new design that remains familiar but is more interactive and is easier to discover actions. The edit menu now has alternate presentations based on the input method used. For touch interactions, the edit menu still has the familiar compact appearance, but with an improved paging behavior, allowing actions to be more discoverable than before. With the Magic Keyboard or a trackpad, a context menu is presented on secondary or right-click for a more desktop class experience. Similarly, touch interaction on the iPhone will display the new edit menu. And for Mac Catalyst apps, context menus that Mac users are familiar with is presented. In iOS 16, the text edit menu gets a major power-up with new data detectors integration. This includes inline unit and currency conversions, as well as Smart Lookup, which displays contextual actions depending on the selected text. For example, if you select an address in Safari, you will get maps-based actions like get directions or open in maps on top of the existing edit menu actions. The best part is there is no adoption required. These features are available in every text edit menu, including text interaction views, WebKit and Safari, as well as PDFKit. To insert actions into a text views menu, implement the new text view delegate method to customize the displayed menu for text in the given range with system-provided actions. If you don't need to customize anything, return nil to get the standard system menu. There are also similar methods on UI text field delegate and UI text input to customize the menu there too. Please note that inserting menu items using UI menu controller is now deprecated in iOS 16, and you should instead move to use the new methods to add menu elements in your text edit menus. Because where we're going, we don't need menu controllers. Here is an example of a text view with some custom actions. When a menu is presented on some text selection, a custom highlight and insert photo action is shown after the system suggested actions. Selecting the highlight action performs a highlight on the text as expected. Next, when the menu is presented without any text selection where there is nothing to highlight, the menu only displays the insert photo action after the system suggested actions. I'll show you how to add these actions using the new API. To insert actions into the menu dynamically on presentation, implement the UI text view delegate method, text view, edit menu for text in range, suggested actions. In this example, I only want to add the highlight action when there is selected text, so I can add the action dynamically through this method. The insert photo action is always valid, so I can add it into the array to always display the action in the menu. Finally, I'll append my actions to the system suggested actions, which includes items like cut, copy, and paste, and return the menu. And that's it. UI Edit Menu Interaction is the UI Interaction API that powers the new Edit menu. The interaction allows you to programmatically present the lightweight edit menu outside of text views based on your own gesture. and has native support to present a context menu on secondary click. In iOS 16, UI Menu Controller and all of its related APIs are replaced by the new Edit Menu interaction. To present an edit menu from scratch, first, create the interaction and add it to the view. Next, configure a gesture recognizer to present the menu from. To ensure that the menu only appears on direct touch and not from indirect pointer clicks, be sure to set the Allow Touch Types property of the gesture recognizer to be direct touch only. Then, add the gesture recognizer to the view. Finally, when the gesture recognizer fires, determine if there is content at the location of the gesture that could display the menu. Then, create an edit menu configuration with a source point at the gesture's location. The source point is used to determine performable actions in the interactions view to display in the menu. Once configured, call Present Edit Menu with Configuration to show the menu. When I right-click anywhere within the selected Below There view, a context menu is presented with performable system actions for the app's content. Even more, when I tap on the selected view, the edit menu is presented where my touch occurred, showing the same actions as the context menu. This is good, but it can be better. While it is nice that the menu appears where the touch occurred, it's actually blocking the selected view's content. Moreover, I want to insert a new duplicate action into the menu, which is not a system default action. Let's go back and change this. To show the menu around the selected view, implement the delegate method edit menu interaction target rect for configuration. This method returns a CG rect used to determine where to present the menu from and is in the coordinate space of the interactions view. If the method is not implemented or a null CG rect is provided, the menu will be presented from the source point of the configuration. In this case, to prevent the menu from occluding the selected view, return its frame. Next, to add the duplicate action, implement Edit Menu Interaction, Menu for Configuration Suggested Actions, and append the custom action after the system suggested actions, similar to how you would insert actions into a text views menu before. Now, when I tap again on the selected view, the menu no longer occludes below there and instead presents around it. The new duplicate action is also included when the menu is presented, all with just a few lines of code. Brilliant! For Mac Catalyst apps, the Edit menu bridges to the familiar context menus that users expect on the Mac when they right-click on the Interactions view. For iPadOS Mac Catalyst apps, programmatically presented edit menus also bridge into context menus. Please note that programmatic presentation of the edit menu is not supported for Mac idiom apps. To offer seamless bridging between different presentation styles, UI Edit Menu Interaction is built on top of the UI Menu element family of APIs. These offer more flexibility and customizability than before, including support for submenus and images. If this is your first time using UI menus, watch Modernizing Your UI for iOS 13 to learn more about menus and actions. Building on top of UI menu element also means that the edit menu has access to a wide variety of APIs like UI Menu System that support menus already. The edit menu uses the existing UI Menu System context system to build its menus. To find out more about the menu builder, as well as a deeper dive on responder chain traversal and command validation, watch Taking Your iPad Apps to the Next Level. Speaking of menus, there are several new enhancements to UI menu in iOS 16. UI menu now has a preferred element size property that allows you to choose between different layouts in the context menu. The small size gives the menu a more compact side-by-side appearance, fitting more actions in a single row. The medium size also displays actions in a side-by-side appearance, but with a little more detail. This is used by the text edit menu to display standard edit menu. And finally, the large element size gives the menu its default full-width appearance. Additionally, there is a new Keeps Menu Presented attribute on UI menu element to keep menus presented after an action is performed. Use this attribute to allow actions to be performed multiple times without re-presenting the menu. That's just the tip of the iceberg for the new Edit menu. Extend text editing functionality by customizing the text edit menu. Make sure that your actions have titles and images so that your menus look complete in different presentation styles. Most importantly, adopt the new UI edit menu interaction for better customizability and improve consistency across platforms and different input methods. Adding support for the new edit menu is a great first step. To complete the desktop class editing experience, I'll hand it over to James to talk about the new System Find and Replace experience.
Ah, there it is. Hi, I'm James McGarren, a UIKit engineer, and I'm here to talk about Find and Replace. New in iOS 16, we introduced a new UI component for finding and replacing text in apps. It's standard across the system and included with many of the built-in apps, and allows your users to flex their muscle memory with even more commonly used editing shortcuts. This is the new Find panel running on iPad. We'll automatically transition from floating inline with the shortcut bar when a hardware keyboard is attached, to resting on top of the software keyboard when used without a hardware keyboard. On iPhone, we'll adapt to the smaller screen size by using a more compact layout. Automatic dismissal, minimization, and keyboard avoidance are all taken care of by the system. When running your app on a Mac, we'll present the Find panel in line with your content, behaving just like the AppKit Find bar, and using a familiar layout that users expect on the Mac. If you're using UI Text View, WK Web View, or PDF views to display text content in your apps, all you need to do to get started is set Is Find Interaction Enabled to True on the built-in Find interaction. It's that simple. In addition, if you're using Quick Look to display text content, this will already be available without any work from you. With a hardware keyboard, all of the standard system shortcuts like Command F for Find, Command G for Find Next, Command Shift G for Find Previous, etc., will work just as expected. Access to these commands are available via the menu bar when running on a Mac. All you need to do is make sure the view displaying the content can and does become first responder. For users who are not using a hardware keyboard, you can invoke the Find interaction programmatically via Present Find Navigator on the included Find interaction property. It might be a good idea to make this available via a navigation bar item, for example. When running on a Mac, there's a couple other things to keep in mind. For instance, on iOS, the Find panel is presented as part of the software keyboard or shortcut bar. On the Mac, we'll display it in line with your content. If you're installing the Find interaction on a scroll view, we'll automatically adjust the content insets to accommodate the Find panel and adapt to trait collection changes automatically. You should otherwise make sure that there's enough room to host the Find panel in your UI on macOS. Additionally, we'll show a menu containing a standard set of Find options available when tapping on the magnifying glass icon. You can customize the contents of this menu by using the Options Menu Provider property on UI Find interaction. This will be more important with custom implementations. And that's all it takes if you're using one of the built-in views that I mentioned before. If your app is displaying textual content by other means, like a completely custom view or something like a list view shown here, you can still add the Find interaction to your app. Let me show you how. The good news about Find interaction is that you can install it on any arbitrary view. If you have an existing Find and Replace implementation in your app, it's a snap to bridge over to UI Find interaction and take advantage of the system's UI. If you don't already have an existing Find implementation for your custom view, it's still super easy to get started, especially if you've already implemented the UI text input protocol in order to work with the system keyboard. Here's how UI Find interaction works with custom views. After installing UI Find interaction on your custom view, set up a Find interaction delegate. The Find interaction delegate, besides being notified about when a Find session begins or ends, is responsible for dealing out UI Find sessions. UI Find session is an abstract base class that encapsulates all the state for a given session, such as the currently highlighted result. It also services all actions requested from the UI, such as go to the next result or search for this string. If you want to manage all of the state yourself, you can choose to vend a subclass of UI Find session from your Find interaction delegate. This is a good option if you already have an existing Find and Replace implementation in your app and want to bridge it over to the system UI. Otherwise, it would be a much better idea to let the system take care of the state for you, and instead adopt the UI text searching protocol on whatever class encapsulates the content of the document being displayed. To do this, you would return a UI text searching Find session and connect it with your document class. This is the best option if you don't yet have a Find implementation for your custom view. Here's how to do this in code. This example has a custom document class and a custom view which displays this document. The UI Find interaction will be installed on this view, and a UI text searching Find session will be provided with this document as the searchable object. Make sure either your view controller or your custom view can become first responder, so keyboard shortcuts work as expected. Create the Find interaction and provide a session delegate to deal out Find sessions. Here, the view controller is the session delegate. Then, when asked for a Find session by the interaction, just return a new UI text searching Find session, providing your document as the searchable object. You'll of course need to make sure that your document class conforms to the UI text searching protocol. The class which implements the UI text searching protocol is responsible for actually finding text in your document. The system will call perform text search and hand you an aggregator object to which you can provide results. The aggregator works with UI text range to represent results in your document. This is another abstract class that you can use to encapsulate whatever data makes sense for how you store text. For example, this could represent a DOM range for clients who use WebKit to render text. The aggregator is also thread safe, so you can provide it results on a background thread. Finally, since the Find interaction doesn't know how to display results using your custom view, you'll also need to decorate results for a given style when decorate is called. The UI text searching Find session and protocol also support multiplexing across multiple visible documents using the same interaction. In other words, if your app displays content in a manner similar to Mail's conversation view, where each document in that case is a mail message, you can install a single Find interaction on the root level collection view and perform a find across all documents at the same time, allowing your users to jump between results in different documents with ease. So that's all it takes to get started with the new Find interaction in iOS 16. For system views that display a lot of text content, make sure to enable Is Find interaction enabled? Move your existing Find implementation to UI Find Interaction. Implement UI text searching and use UI text searching Find session if you don't yet have text searching in your app. And lastly, check and make sure you don't have any conflicting keyboard shortcuts in your app. And that is what it takes to refresh your app's editing interactions for iOS 16 and make them truly desktop class. Try the new text edit menu in your app and adopt the edit menu interaction for custom UI. And boost productivity by making your app's text content searchable. I'm looking forward to finding these great new features in your app. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.